In the tumultuous landscape of World War II, the Japanese army etched a dark chapter in history through a multitude of war crimes, notably in China, where it is estimated that over 14 million civilians fell victim to their brutal actions before the conflict unfolded in Europe. Japanese soldiers, infamous for their large-scale assaults and sadistic contests, created an atmosphere of terror. One grim instance involved two soldiers engaging in a macabre competition to execute 100 people using swords in the shortest time possible. Changi Prison, initially conceived in 1937 as a formidable institution, underwent a drastic transformation during the war. After the Japanese seized control of Singapore in 1942, the prison's intended capacity of 560 was dwarfed by the forced incarceration of around 3,000 individuals. This overcrowding crisis extended to nearby former British Army barracks, converted into a prisoner of war camp, where approximately 50,000 Allied soldiers, predominantly British and Australian, found themselves confined. Changi, once touted as one of the finest prisons in the British Empire, became a symbol of horror and suffering during the Japanese occupation. The prison complex, encompassing up to 7 camps, witnessed the harsh treatment of prisoners, including around 500 female detainees torn from their families. These women endured harrowing abuse, but defiantly embedded symbols of hope into materials they were forced to produce for the prison hospital. The conditions within Changi were deplorable, with prisoners often left to manage their own day-to-day survival. Forced labor, coupled with meager rations, determined by prisoners' ability to trade with guards or resort to theft, further intensified the misery. Changi's reputation as a site of suffering was exacerbated by the brutality of Japanese guards and the pervasive threat of execution or torture for perceived transgressions. As World War II took a turn against the Japanese, Changi Prison was eventually abandoned following the liberation of Singapore in September 1945. The liberated Allied prisoners left the prison, many mere shadows of their former selves, emaciated and clad in tatters. However, Changi's narrative did not end with liberation. Post-war, the British regained control of Changi and repurposed it to hold Japanese prisoners of war, including high-ranking figures from the Imperial Japanese Army, Navy members, and officers from the infamous Kempeitai military police. The prison transformed into a site of justice where the British and Australians, now acting as guards, brought Japanese war criminals to trial. Some faced repercussions for the heinous Double-Tenth massacre within the prison, where 15 prisoners suffered water torture, severe beatings, and disfigurement. Changi Prison, after the war, became an execution ground. Gallows were constructed, and in April 1946, 8 Japanese men met their fate on the gallows. The condemned, blindfolded and led across a platform to the gallows, faced a grim end. Changi, once synonymous with Japanese brutality, now witnessed the execution of those responsible for war crimes. Interestingly, after the war, Changi took on another role, hosting 260 German prisoners of war before their repatriation to Germany a year later. Changi Prison's complex history reflects the shifting tides of World War II, from a place of Japanese brutality to a site of justice and retribution. Dear valued audience, your support means the world to us. To ensure the growth and continuity of our channel, we kindly ask you to subscribe. By subscribing, you become an integral part of our community, empowering us to bring you more engaging content. Your support fuels our passion, and together we can continue this incredible journey. Click that subscribe button and join us on this exciting adventure. Thank you for being an essential part of our channel.